I never thought I'd see her face again, not after that night. But there she was, or at least I thought it was her. I was sitting in my apartment, staring out the window like I do when sleep won't come, when I saw a woman who looked just like Emily walking down the street. Same long brown hair, same graceful stride. My heart skipped a beat, and I jumped up, pressing my face against the glass. But when I blinked, she was gone. Vanished like a ghost. I'm 45 now, still working as a bodyguard, though I've been thinking about hanging it up. The job's not what it used to be, or maybe I'm not. I was a Marine before this, saw combat, thought I'd seen it all. But nothing prepared me for that night 5 years ago, when Emily Carter was killed right in front of me. They said it wasn't my fault, that I did everything I could, but I know better. I let my guard down, just for a second, and that was all it took. I can still see her smile, the way she trusted me to keep her safe. She was young, barely 25, an heiress with a kind heart, always chatting with me about her dreams. I was supposed to protect her at a charity gala, but it all went wrong. Gunshots. Screams. Blood. I tried to shield her, but I was too slow. Now, every time I close my eyes, I see her lying there, blood pooling around her, her eyes staring up at nothing. It's like a loop I can't escape. These days, I'm jumpy. Every shadow makes me flinch. I've been doing this job for 15 years, and I'm good at it, damn good, but that night broke something in me. I keep waiting for the other shoe to drop, for the past to catch up. And now, seeing her doppelganger on the street? It's like the universe is mocking me, reminding me I failed her. I tell myself it's just stress. Guilt playing tricks. I've been working long hours, taking on too many clients, trying to outrun the memories. But deep down, I know it's more than that. Something's coming, I can feel it in my bones. Maybe it's just my mind unraveling, or maybe it's something worse. Either way, I'm not sure I'm ready for it. I checked the locks on my door twice, like that'll keep the ghosts out. Looking back, those early days feel like a different life. I was 30, fresh out of the Marines, still riding that high of thinking I could handle anything. The agency was my new mission. After years of combat, protecting people felt like a way to keep my edge while doing some good. They trained me up quick, how to spot threats, how to blend in, how to take a hit if it came to that. My first gig was guarding a tech CEO, let's call him Mr. X. Guy was loaded, paranoid as hell, always ranting about competitors out to get him. I didn't care about his drama. My job was to keep him breathing. Every morning, I'd roll up to his mansion in a black SUV, check the vehicle for bugs or bombs, then drive him to his glass tower office. I'd park near the entrance, walk him in, eyes scanning every face in the lobby. Most days, it was just suits and coffee cups, nothing to worry about. I'd stand outside his office, back straight, earpiece in, looking like a statue but ready to move in a heartbeat. It was boring sometimes, but I thrived on the routine. Made me feel in control. One day, I spotted a guy loitering near the building. Shabby jacket, shifty eyes, didn't fit the corporate vibe. I walked over, kept it calm, asked what he was doing. He stammered something about a job interview, but his story didn't add up. I radioed security, had him escorted out. Later, Mr. X clapped me on the shoulder, said I had a good eye. That moment stuck with me, made me feel like I was born for this. But there were things I ignored. I'd catch snippets of Mr. X's calls, talk of offshore accounts, deals that sounded sketchy. Once, I saw a folder on his desk labeled Cayman Holdings, but I looked away. Not my place to snoop. My job was to watch his back, not his business. Still, those moments nagged at me, like static in the back of my head. Mike, another ex-Marine at the agency, was my sounding board. We'd grab beers after shifts, laugh about how we were just glorified babysitters. He'd tell stories about his client, some actress who kept sneaking out to party. We thought we had it all figured out. That we were untouchable. This gig's a cakewalk, Mike would say, clinking his bottle against mine. But deep down, I felt this itch, like something was off. I just didn't know what. I told myself it was nothing. I was good at my job, damn good. The agency trusted me, clients liked me, and I hadn't lost anyone. I thought I had everything locked down. Looking back, I was so naive. That sense of control? It was a lie, and it wouldn't last. Here's the truth, I failed her. That night 5 years ago still burns in my mind, like a wound that won't heal. I was 40, 10 years into the bodyguard game, cocky enough to think I had it all under control. Emily Carter was my client, a 25-year-old heiress with a smile that could light up a room. She wasn't like the others, always asking about my day, sharing her dreams of helping kids in need. That night, she was radiant, hosting a charity gala at a swanky downtown hotel. Crystal chandeliers, black tie crowd, the works. I was stationed near her table, scanning the room, but I let myself relax. She was laughing, telling me about a school she wanted to fund. I smiled back, just for a second. That was my mistake. The first gunshot cracked like thunder. The room froze, then erupted. Screams, crashing glass, people diving under tables. I lunged for Emily, shouting her name, but the crowd surged, blocking my path. Another shot. I saw her stumble, her white dress blooming red. I shoved through, heart pounding, and caught her as she fell. "Stay with me, Emily!" I yelled, pressing my hands to her chest, blood seeping through my fingers. Her eyes locked on mine, wide with fear, then dulled. She whispered something, maybe my name, maybe a plea, but it was gone before I could catch it. She was gone. I held her, screaming for a medic, but the chaos drowned me out. Security swarmed, guests fled, and I just sat there, her blood soaking my suit. The shooter vanished into the panic. Later, the cops said it was a targeted hit, some feud tied to her family's wealth. The agency backed me up, said I followed protocol, but I knew better. I missed something, a face in the crowd, a gut feeling I ignored. I kept replaying it. If I'd stayed sharp, if I'd moved faster, she'd be alive. That night broke me. I started doubting every instinct, every choice. Was I too slow? Too distracted? The confidence I'd built over years crumbled. I took a leave, tried to shake it off, but the guilt clung like damp rot. I'd see her face in every client, hear her laugh in quiet moments. Now, with that woman on the street looking like her, it's like the universe is twisting the knife. I don't know if I can keep doing this, but quitting feels like betraying her all over again. After that night, everything was a blur. I sat in the agency's office, staring at a crack in the wall while Mr. Roberts, my boss, droned on about the incident report. "You followed protocol, Jack," he said, his voice flat, like he was reading a script. "It wasn't your fault." But those words felt like a slap, empty and cold, like they were just covering their asses. I knew the truth. I'd let Emily down. I should have seen the threat, should have been faster, stronger. But I wasn't, and now she was gone, her blood still staining my nightmares. I kept replaying that night in my head, the crack of gunshots, the chaos of the crowd, her white dress turning red as she fell. Every time, I tried to rewrite it, move quicker, spot the shooter, anything. But it always ended the same, her eyes going blank, my hands slick with her blood. I'd wake up gasping, heart hammering, cursing myself for that 1 second I looked away. They wanted me to take leave, said I needed to process. Process what? That I failed her? I couldn't sit still, couldn't face the silence. I needed to work, to keep moving, to pretend I still had control. But I didn't. I was unraveling, and no amount of denial could stitch me back together. I started questioning everything. Was I ever as good as I thought? 10 years in, I'd built a reputation, clients trusted me, the agency praised me. But maybe I'd been coasting, too cocky, thinking I was untouchable. That complacency cost Emily her life, and the weight of it was crushing me. Worse, I couldn't shake the feeling there was more to it. The shooter was a ghost, no leads, no witnesses. The cops called it a random hit, tied to her family's wealth, but it didn't add up. I'd heard whispers about her father's enemies, shady deals, but when I pushed Mr. Roberts for answers, he shut me down. "It's over, Jack. Let it go." His eyes were hard, like he was warning me to drop it. But I couldn't let it go. I needed to know why she died. Was it bad luck, or did I miss something bigger? The confusion gnawed at me, mixing with guilt until I couldn't tell them apart. I felt like I was drowning in it. I tried talking to Mike, my buddy from the agency. We'd been through a lot together, but he just shrugged. "You're still here, man. That's what counts." Easy for him to say. He didn't have blood on his hands. I wanted to scream that it wasn't enough, that I didn't deserve to be here when she wasn't. So I threw myself into work, taking every job they gave me. A paranoid CEO, a spoiled heiress, didn't matter. I needed to prove I could still do this, to myself, to the agency, to Emily's memory. But every shadow made me flinch, Every loud noise sent my pulse racing. I was a mess, lying to clients when they asked if I was okay. Fine, I'd say, but I was far from it. The truth was catching up, and I couldn't outrun it. I thought I'd left the Carters behind after Emily's death, but fate had other plans. On a rainy Tuesday, Mr. Roberts called me in. "New job, Jack." "Sarah Carter. She asked for you?" My heart sank. Carter. Emily's sister. The woman I saw on the street, it had to be her. I met Sarah at her penthouse, and when she opened the door, it was like seeing Emily's ghost. Same hair, same eyes, but with a harder edge. "Jack Thompson," she said, shaking my hand. "Emily spoke highly of you." I mumbled condolences, rattled by her resemblance. She needed protection for a charity auction. Driving her there, I felt this wasn't random. At the event, I scanned for threats, but Sarah's presence, her grace, like Emily's, kept pulling my focus. She carried a quiet intensity, like she knew something I didn't. After the auction, back at her penthouse, she got serious. "Jack, I need your help. Emily's death wasn't random. I found documents in my father's study, threats, shady deals, and your agency's name." She handed me a folder. Emails, financial records, and one name stood out, Mr. Roberts. "My father was in deep with dangerous people. I think it got Emily killed. I need someone I trust to find the truth." Her eyes held the same fire Emily had. "Why me?" I asked. "You were there. You cared about her. You want answers too." She was right. Guilt had haunted me for years, and I needed to know why Emily died. "All right, I'll help," I said, closing the folder. "But we can't trust anyone if the agency's involved." She nodded, a faint smile showing relief. Leaving her place, I felt hope and dread. A chance to uncover Emily's truth, but this could be dangerous for us both. The shadows of the past were closing in, and I wasn't sure I was ready. I met Sarah at her penthouse the next day, my mind still reeling from the documents she'd shown me. She had more laid out on the coffee table when I arrived. "Look at this," she said, pointing to a stack of papers. "These are reports of other incidents where clients died while under the agency's protection. Each time it was ruled unavoidable, but look at the patterns." I picked up one report about a businessman shot during an alleged robbery with inconsistent details. Another about a politician killed in a car accident with witnesses claiming sabotage. My heart sank recognizing names of people I knew. Then I saw Alex Thompson's name, a client I'd protected 2 years ago killed in a random shooting when I wasn't on duty. I'd felt guilty for not being there, but the agency assured me it was bad luck. Now seeing his name here made me wonder if there was more to it. "Alex Thompson," I said aloud. "Are you saying his death wasn't random?" Sarah nodded. "It's planned like Emily's." A chill ran down my spine realizing the agency had lied to me. "Why would they do this?" I asked, fearing I knew the answer. "Money. Power, who knows?" Sarah replied, handing me an encrypted USB drive, saying it has evidence we need. Just then, her phone buzzed with a threatening message. "Stop digging, or you're next." My blood ran cold, suggesting we go to police, but Sarah insisted we can't trust them if agency is involved, leaving us on our own, agreeing to be careful, feeling weight of situation pressing down, knowing this is bigger than imagined, determined to see through for Emily Alex's truth. I couldn't sleep, the threat. "Stop digging, or you're next," looping in my mind. Who sent it? The agency? Someone else? I had to protect Sarah and find answers. Next morning, I stormed into Mr. Roberts' office, slamming the door. "We need to talk," I said, voice steady despite my nerves. "What's this about, Jack?" he asked, his face unreadable. "Clients dying under our watch. Alex Thompson. His death wasn't random, was it?" He leaned back, fingers steepled. "You're emotional, Jack. Alex's death was a tragedy, fully investigated. No foul play." "I don't buy it," I snapped. Sarah showed me documents, other deaths, patterns. "The agency's hiding something." He raised an eyebrow. "Documents? You're accusing us without proof. That's dangerous." "I'm not accusing. I'm asking for the truth. For Emily, Alex, all of them." He sighed. "You're projecting your failure with Emily onto us. Take leave, Jack. Clear your head." "Leave? People are dying, and you want me to walk away?" "Watch your tone," he said, standing. "You're an employee, not a detective." Take the leave. That's an order. I glared, realizing he wouldn't budge. This isn't over, I said, storming out. Anger and despair hit me. If the agency was dirty, I was alone. Later, Sarah called. Jack, they pulled you from my detail. They say you're too involved. They're isolating us, I said, clenching my fist. I'm too close to the truth. What now? Her voice shook. We keep digging, but quietly. I'll protect you, Sarah, but we stay one step ahead. I hung up, the weight crushing me. No longer the agency's man, I was a lone wolf chasing secrets in a world that wanted them buried. For Emily, Alex, and the truth, I'd keep going, no matter the cost. I couldn't just walk away, not after everything I'd seen. So, I kept tabs on Sarah from a distance, my instincts screaming that she was still in danger. One evening, as she left a gallery opening, I saw a black SUV pull up beside her. Two men jumped out, grabbing her arms. My heart raced as I sprinted towards them, yelling, "Let her go." One of the men turned, his face hidden by a balaclava, and pulled a gun. I tackled him, wrestling the weapon away as Sarah screamed. The other man hesitated, then fled when he saw me overpower his partner. I pinned the first attacker, ripping off his mask. My blood ran cold. It was Tom, a former colleague from the agency. Tom? What the hell are you doing? I demanded. He smirked, blood trickling from his lip. Just following orders, Jack. You should have stayed out of it. Whose orders? I pressed, but he just laughed, a cold, hollow sound. Sirens wailed in the distance. I had to make a decision. I let him go, knowing the police would be here soon, and I couldn't afford to be tied up in questioning. I grabbed Sarah's arm. We need to go, now. We disappeared into the night, my mind racing. Tom was involved, which meant the agency was dirty. I had to protect Sarah and find out who was behind this, but now I knew I couldn't trust anyone from my old life. We didn't go home after the attack. Sarah and I crashed at a cheap motel off the highway, curtains drawn, lights low, always ready to bolt. I didn't sleep. Every sound outside made me reach for my gun. Sarah sat on the bed clutching her laptop, eyes hollow but determined. They sent Tom, she whispered. They're not bluffing. I nodded, jaw tight. That means we're close. We went through the USB again, emails, ledgers, internal memos. One name kept appearing, Kane Security Holdings, a shell company I remembered vaguely from my early days. Sarah found it tied to off-books payments. Bonuses. For agents after high-profile deaths. Blood money. And the kicker? One transfer went directly to R. Roberts. My stomach turned. Then, just after 2 a.m., I heard glass shatter. Get down! I shouted, shoving Sarah to the floor as a masked figure burst through the window. A second later, gunfire erupted. I returned fire from behind the dresser, covering Sarah as she crawled to the bathroom. I took one down with a chest shot, but another was circling. I charged him, slamming him against the wall. We fought brutally, fists and elbows flying, until I finally knocked him out cold. I checked his wallet, fake ID, no name, but the same brand of comms earpiece we used at the agency. This was coordinated. Sarah emerged shaking, blood on her lip from a cut. They really want us gone. Yeah, I panted. Which means we've got what they're afraid of. We left the motel within minutes, burning everything we couldn't carry. I felt like a fugitive. Maybe I was. But at that point, survival meant staying ahead. It wasn't just about Emily anymore. This was war. We needed allies, but we couldn't go to the police or the agency. So we went to someone else, Mike. My old friend. I wasn't sure I could trust him, but he'd been clean, at least, as far as I knew. I found him at a dive bar near the docks, same place we used to unwind back in the day. He looked older, tired, but still solid. Damn, Jack, he said after I told him everything. I knew things were getting weird, but this is bad. Can I trust you? I asked point blank. He didn't hesitate. Yeah, you can. We gave him a copy of the USB. He scanned the files, eyes widening. This is enough to blow the agency apart. But we need to make it public, Sarah said. Real, undeniable. Mike had an idea. There's a reporter, Elena Reyes. She's been digging into corporate corruption for years. If anyone can get this out without getting scared off, it's her. It was a risk, but we agreed. I reached out to Elena through a burner phone. When we met, I saw the hunger in her eyes. She wasn't here for gossip, she wanted the truth. She took the files, her voice low but resolute. This will take time to verify. You understand the danger? I nodded. We're already in it. Over the next 48 hours, we moved constantly, motels, safe houses, even a friend's RV. Meanwhile, Elena worked fast. Cross-referenced records, interviewed former employees, traced payments. She told us it was worse than we thought. Layers of corruption, sanctioned hits, agents paid to disappear. Then came the tipping point. Elena found security footage from the night of Emily's death. In it, I could be seen shouting, shielding her. But in the corner, clear as day, Robert's talking to a man who later turned out to be the shooter. I felt my blood run cold. They planned it. They used me. Elena published the story on a Monday morning. Inside the kill contracts, the shadow agency behind high-profile deaths. Names. Dates. Evidence. Blood trails. It exploded across every news outlet within hours. Government officials called for investigations. The agency went into lockdown. Roberts disappeared the same day, no statement, no trace. Mike texted me one word. Boom. But the fallout wasn't clean. Sarah and I were hunted online, smears, threats, bots flooding her socials. We had to stay hidden for a while, using aliases. The FBI reached out eventually, asking for testimony. We gave them everything. I didn't care about immunity or headlines. I just wanted it out there. A few weeks later, a knock at the door came with good news: arrests. 3 agents, 1 contractor, a federal oversight committee launched. It wasn't justice, not entirely, but it was something. And Emily? She wasn't forgotten. Elena dedicated the series to her and Alex. A scholarship fund was created in their names. One morning, Sarah and I stood at Emily's grave. She placed a white rose, hands shaking. She'd be proud of you, she whispered. I didn't speak. Just knelt beside the stone, finally letting the tears fall. I still hear the gunshots sometimes. Still see that red stain blooming. But I know now, she didn't die for nothing. She was the spark that brought the truth to light. I don't work for the agency anymore. Haven't picked up a detail in months. I'm thinking of moving, maybe Colorado. Start a training program for vets. Maybe it's time to stop running. Maybe it's time to live again.